Hey, so in this video, I'm going to just chat a little bit about this process of, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, so to speak. I've been talking to a few friends, and it's been a real time of upheaval. Things are being tested. The past is resurfacing and trying to make its way back into the future, and some people will say, oh well, it's Mercury in retrograde, that's what the problem is. And whether you believe in astrology or not, it's not really my point. My point is that life works in kind of these cycles, like seasons, where, and I'm not immune to this. I'm not this self-help guru going, my life's amazing and yours must be crap at the moment, and if you only listen to me, then everything will be fine. No, this is, no one's immune. We're all in this together. We're all going through shit together. And although it comes up in its own mask and its own setting and characters and all that sort of stuff, fundamentally the process is what I'm trying to bring awareness to, and it's this kind of 3 steps forward, 2 steps backwards. It's like the correction in the stock market. We just had some of these stocks went to the moon, baby, and then all of a sudden they plummeted back down to their support line, which dates back however many months. And it's kind of like, if things kept going and going and going, then things would have got completely out of control really quickly. And it's almost like a vehicle that just doesn't stop accelerating. Eventually, you have to take your foot off the gas. You have to take your foot off the gas, and you have to slow down eventually, and get things back under control, or back into a place of safety. And it's not to say that you can't accelerate again, you can't go again, but it's like maybe it's time to come into the pits and just tidy everything up. And so one of the themes that has come up for myself and some of the people around me is that you get to this place of awareness where you realize there's a better way of doing things, and you look back and go, fuck, why was I so stupid, and how did I get into this situation, and I'm smarter than this, and I got taken again, and someone played me again, and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, no, man, like, shame on them for taking advantage of you when they should have been there to protect you and guide you and move you through to the next level. And if you're a Zen, you follow Zen, and maybe you're a bit of Alan Watts, and maybe you're a provocative therapist, and maybe you say, well, if it wasn't for that experience of being taken and played, then you never would have become aware of that level of the game, and you would never have leveled up. And it's like, well, yeah, okay, there's 2 ways to look at that. You can look at it that way, but the other way of looking at it is that these things come up for you because they're patterns in you that need something to attach to. And if you can disassociate from them and remove that attachment, then it's a lot harder for them to reconnect with you, those people, those events, those states. Okay, and so where am I going with this? So the process that I take, and this is just one idea, is that instead of beating yourself up and getting down on yourself and getting into this state of despair over not being able to see things coming, and now you're sort of in this situation that you have to, grind and get out of and wiggle out of and escape from and whatever, just to step into that future that you can see now that maybe perhaps you couldn't see before. Is that when these things come up for you, is to just be aware and observe them, and don't rehash them, and don't participate in them, and don't play that record again. The idea is to observe it coming up as a pattern, as a program in your subconscious, your DNA, your neurology, and to just not get into it, not let it execute anymore, and just to watch it, because we know the observer effect, and something being observed, the mere act of observing something changes it. So if you can observe it as it happens, especially in the peak of the emotion, if you can catch yourself buying back into the old bullshit that played you and took you and picked your pocket in the past, then you put a scratch in that record, and next time it doesn't play the same. Next time there isn't the docking mechanism for it to hook into you anymore. Next time you just step aside. Next time when it's offered to you, you go, no thank you, right? But when you're in it, going through this process of rewiring yourself at especially when it gets deep into the core of you, when you're going through that phase, it can feel like it's never going to end. It can feel like it's the worst thing that's happening to you. Part of the program is to make you feel like you're all by yourself, that there's no one else but you in this entire universe that's going through it, ever has gone through it, never will go through it, which isn't crap, because that whole pattern to get you to feel like you're the only one actually is an isolating mechanism to get you not to reach out, not to ask for help, not to talk to anyone, just to get back in the box and keep going over the same patterns again, and not to evolve. It's the temptation to not evolve. And when I say temptation, I mean the magnetism from the past and the momentum from the habits of the past to get you to just ignore the future, ignore the new possibilities, and just to keep doing the same old business as usual. But it's not business as usual at all. It's just another trap for you to it's kind of like life testing you. You're going to fall in the hole again, because here's the hole, and are you aware enough that you're falling in the hole again? So don't do that. Stop, breathe, relax, take a step back, just observe it for what it is. Don't do anything with it. I mean, if you can catch yourself and make a change for the better, great, but don't do it out of desperation. Don't do it out of this panic to get out of the situation. When pressure's on you, some people will do anything to escape the pressure, and don't do that. Don't put yourself at risk, don't put other people at risk just to get out of the pain and the pressure. Breathe through it, relax through it, allow it to pass through you, allow things to settle down again. And then when you get to a place of comfort in it, in the discomfort, because remember, the growth is in the discomfort. Growth never happens when you're comfortable. Growth happens when there's discomfort, when there's stress, when you're forced to think differently, when you're forced to act differently, when you're in the unknown, okay? And sometimes the unknown's not always fun. So when you're in the unknown, relax, go within yourself, realize that you have the skills to navigate even when you don't know where you are. You have the skills to figure out where you are. You have the skills to figure out where you're going from when you find out where you are. And some of these things, some of these stressors, these moments of turmoil, upheaval, are not there to punish you or to make you feel stupid or bad. They're there to show you that there's more to you than what you think there is. Remember, no matter who you think you are, you're so much more than that. And sometimes you need the world to, to have a go at you. You need the rug to be pulled out from under you. You need all those doors that used to be open to close on you, to find a new pathway and to find a new way back to yourself that shows you another side of you that you didn't know that was there, that and those skills that you always had that maybe you weren't aware of. So just take it easy, take it real easy, go slow. When you're not sure of where you are, where you're going, don't rush off and, add insult to injury, and don't compound the interest in a bad way. Just take it nice and slow, step by step. Think about what you're doing, be aware of what you're thinking and feeling, and, move in a calm, relaxed manner if you can, and learn to adapt in those situations as best you can. Just do the best you can, and when the dust settles and when you have put enough scratches in the records and you've observed enough of that automatic program that runs in the background that just possesses you and takes you over, it's much, much harder for that to happen ever again. Okay, so these moments where you are taking 2 steps back, they're not to punish you and not to, make you feel like it's impossible. It's there to maybe give you a few steps back so you can observe things properly, reassess things, make sure you're still on track, you're still going in the right direction. Maybe there's an even quicker way to get there. Maybe there's an easier way to get there. Maybe you can do a little tweak here and there that makes it more efficient. Don't rush to the end, because you'll get there in the end. Maybe there's opportunities along the way that you wouldn't have seen before unless you were under this kind of pressure in your life. Okay, so I hope that helps, guys. Keep your head, keep a cool head, keep calm. No matter what, just keep calm. Be the calmest motherfucker in the room. It's the scariest thing to everyone else observing you. When everyone's freaking out and you're the only one not, and they'll try their best to convince you that you should be freaking out too. Don't buy into that. Just stay the course. Life's a game. Treat it like a game. You'll get through the level eventually. Learn the skills for that level, because you're going to need them in the next level and the next level anyway. So take your time, learn the skill, get it under your belt, and then, and only then, move forward.